Hello and welcome to Grand Prix Xi'an coverage for the MSEM format. Today we're going to be watching a round 3 match between HerziQuerzi on Dark Canada and Monger on 5-color Angeltouched. So right now both players are 1-1 in terms of sets, so whoever loses this set will be out of contention for the top 4. So it is kind of tense in that sense because it's essentially a knockout match. Game 1 has already started. I believe we're on Herzi's second turn right now. Monger has basically just been cantripping and filling up his graveyard. I believe he had 2 Oracle's Vision, but got hit by Hand Attack last turn. I'm just going to scroll back and see. Yeah, HerziQuerzi duressed him, and then took Rain's Eye, who is a powerful planeswalker. And now Herzi is playing Zetla on turn 2, which is Power Planeswalker in its own right, which is essentially just continuous hand attack and life pinging. Lots of Herzi's deck. It's more of a tempo deck than a controlling deck, but it aims to keep your opponent off of doing stuff while simultaneously pinging them to death with a multitude of incremental damage sources. So we're going to see a Blood Frenzy. Okay, so, oh yeah, he had milled that earlier, so it's not actually cast. I was like, Blood Frenzy doesn't have any valid targets. So yeah, he is creating 3 1/1 spirit tokens. Right now, all that cantripping is hopefully putting Monger into some good answers. But he's only at 1. He's down to 1 card in hand. I know Monger. I'm not quite sure what's in Monger's graveyard, and due to how Lackey works, I can't actually check it out myself. But yeah, like lots of Monger's deck does work from the grave, but yeah, it's not a great time. And discarding Singularity's Grasp is pretty good in this matchup. Ooh, Oink's Ritualist. That's a clock right there. So very powerful. Even though it only has 1 toughness, being a 3 power flyer is huge, and then taxing every spell for 2 life, just shocking your opponent every time they cast a spell, insane, unless they manage, and even if they immediately have removal on it, okay, sure, it was a shock. Like, it's not where you want to be for 2B, but you're forcing your opponent to use removal on your 3-drop and also getting to shock them in the process, pretty strong. So Monger just played Leyline Alignment Field, which says for each color among cards in your graveyard, add 1 mana of that color. So he is now going to be adding Wooburg, full 5 colors. Okay, casting Bahoom's Penance. And he's only discarding 1 card, so he doesn't care. So purging is basically you exile 2, what it says here, exile 2 cards share type from graveyards. If you do, draw a card. So it's going to be exiling most of Herzi's grave, and then gaining 7 life and drawing 4 cards, which is insane for a single card. It refills Monger's hand and puts him handily back into this. And now getting shocked doesn't seem so bad. Depending on what Monger drew, he may attack Zetla here. But otherwise, okay, let's see. Well, all at face? All at face. So Monger doesn't really care about discarding anything here and just wants to have that fast clock. So it's okay. So Monger has 2 mana open. Does Monger have anything at instant speed? He has Blood Frenzy and Crystal. He doesn't have mana for Crystal Wave, so it has to be Blood Frenzy, if anything. He has black. He does not have the mana for Blood Frenzy, so it can't be that. So he just played the land for the sake of playing the land. Yeah, they essentially both have equal power on. Oh, never mind. Fireheart Channeler and Fireheart Channeler. 2 Fireheart Channelers. Oh wow! So now Monger is dead on board in 3 turns. And Fireheart Channeler makes it so that Monger's like elemental tokens can be blocked profitably for Herzi, because then Herzi can just drop the counters on Monger's board, and unless Monger has a faster clock, Monger just dies. I think what Monger really needs here is, I'm not certain actually, maybe Singularity's Grasp per one. Just wipe the board and accept the damage you take, and then just hopefully have something else. Okay, so he's attacking into phase with all three elementals. Herzi's probably not going to block here because their clock is faster if they just let Fireheart chip in as a 2-power creature. No? Okay. They're blocking with both Firehearts. I guess going for inevitability. But it feels weird to me because usually the only reason that you would really do that is that you're afraid of them being exile removed. Which I guess if Rain's Eye could do that, but then Rain's Eye just dies to the Oinks Ritualist. What other exile removal do they have? Yeah, Monger doesn't really have any other exile removal, so I don't know if that was the right play. I think having the clock there is just kind of more important. Because if they die incidentally along the way, okay. But being able to attack for like 4 instead of just pinging them for 2 on their upkeep, much more important, I'd say. So Monger's tapping out though. What does he have in grave? See, this is where Lackey's inability to let spectators see graveyards is, he has Imperial Titan. Is he going to destroy a land or Oinks Ritualist? He's killing Ritualist. So this is another reason why Fireheart was chumping with Fireheart was probably a bad play, because now you don't have chump blockers for Imperial Titan. Or they might be casting one, right? Okay, a third Fireheart Channeler. Oh my god. But yeah, that just cleared up Herzi's board. And sure, they can, Herzi could conceivably stall out here, but it is rough. Because that 7/7, if Monger has removal here and then manages to swing in with the 7/7 now and then once more next turn, he just wins. Keeping up 2 more blockers for this would probably have been better. So Monger's going to tap out again, 5 mana. Oh my god, and Soul of Escatia. That's huge. And the flying that makes it so that Herzi is now on a 3-turn clock. And yeah, I guess is Monger going to attack with... Oh, he's attacking in with everything. Oh my god, attacking for 14. So, okay, so Sand Scatter on this Escatia. And then probably chumping Imperial Titan. So Herzi takes 1. But yeah, otherwise the Soul of Escatia would have just left Herzi just straight up dead. Like next turn. So Herzi has 1 card in hand. Monger's got 3 and has way more board presence. And Recall Forgotten Aeons is going to refill Monger's hand while also giving him another creature from the grave. This is looking... Okay, and playing 2 Angeltouched Caverns. So we know he doesn't have... Okay, so he's got 2 more cards in hand. He can't cast Blood Frenzy, which means if Herzi has a chumper, they could still potentially... Okay, they do. They have Oinks Ritualist to chump block. Or potentially even just try and get lethal on Monger before Imperial Titan kills them, but I doubt that's possible since Imperial Titan's a 7/7. But yeah. I guess Monger could Singularity's Grasp or Blood Frenzy here. 3 cards in hand. Or they could recall Forgotten Aeons from grave. Blood Frenzy, there it is. So that means Herzi is taking 8 damage this turn, and unless they have another chump blocker or removal or something, they're much closer to being dead. And at 1 mana, do they have any removal for 1 mana? They could potentially, like instant speed removal, they could potentially stop this. They do not. So this is guaranteed coming in. Is this going to be a coalesced Forgotten Aeons? Oh no, it's another Bahoom's Penance. Okay, that's really good. And Herzi is conceding a response to that because I guess they were hoping to burn out Monger, but the life gain from that is just too much for it's Herzi can't reasonably deal with the number of threats that Monger had there because he had recall Forgotten Aeons in grave, he had Blood Frenzy tokens from the grave. It was just not a good time for Herzi, and and Monger was also going to be refilling his hand. So from sideboard, Herzi has Exemplar of Honor. Is that where? I don't know if that's where they want to go. Because I think Exemplar is better against like low to the ground aggressive decks. Cold Grave, I think for sure. Okay, Cold Grave definitely. I think all 4 is coming in. You want removal, so I think Anguished Unmaking. I don't think Wave of Decay you really need here because other than Blood Frenzy tokens, what does Monger have that goes wide? Let's see. I guess Rain Zai tokens. But I don't think that's enough. I guess the life gain could be relevant, but I think the main thing is Cold Grave and Anguished Unmaking as just like point and click removal spells. But I guess Mupumo does better than Anguished Unmaking from main anyways, and it's not like Monger has any non-creep. I guess actually no, I'm lying. Oh, I'm just a straight up liar. Bahoom and Rain, but Herzi does have a good creature suite, so they could potentially not really have to worry about killing planeswalkers, but it could. I guess it couldn't hurt. And I don't know how valuable Zetla is in this matchup. Given actually, I think sorry, I lied. Zetla is likely not at all valuable in this matchup because Monger can just discard cards which work well from the grave. So I'm thinking Zetla out, Cold Grave in, and then maybe some number of Anguish Unmaking in. Wave of Decay is highly unlikely, but could come in if Herzi's scared enough of the Blood Frenzy tokens and Rain tokens. On Monger's side, I think Singularity's Grasp is really good for him. Bahoom's Penance for sure because the life gain just wrecks here. Maybe another Bahoom the Warden. Exile non-basic lands and just because gaining life just kind of because the deck Herzi's deck wants to win through incremental pinging, and gaining 3 life each turn just kind of stops that cold. Sorcerer's Spyglass. What did you Sorcerer's Spyglass on in this matchup? I don't think Sorcerer's Spyglass could work on Mapuma, but I don't know that I don't know that you care too much about that. Sevid. I don't know if Sevid would come in. Okay, so my thought is Singularity's Grasp maybe, Bahoom's Penance, and Bahoom himself for sure. Anyway, so let's go back in. Let's see. Okay, so game 2 has started. Monger had a turn 1 play. Let's see. It looks like it wasn't Oracle's Vision. It was some other cantrip. Unquenched Greed, and he discarded 2 lands. Normally, discarding lands is a good sign for a deck because usually you want to keep your playables. But here, there's some cards like Titans that only function from the grave or function best from the grave, so that's not a good sign. Also, Demolition's Divisor here is really good because if Monger does Monger have any turn 2 plays or any turn 2 creatures? I don't think so. So Monger needs Blood Frenzy. Oh, otherwise, Demolition's Divisor is really dangerous because Herzi attacks in for 3, and then if Monger ever tries to remove Divisor, he just gets bolted in the face. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge for Herzi. Now at this point, Monger really needs to find one of his life gain spells. On tree, is it gonna be Mupumo? Oh no, it's Lady Jen. That's really strong. Yeah, this is the problem with Monger's deck. Is that it has to, like, once it gets going, the value is really hard to stop. But now Herzi has an answer to all of Monger's stuff in the grave. They have an incredibly strong board, which Monger can't conceivably answer. They have card filtration. This is likely going to game 3. Because Monger's deck will just be too slow to stop this. So he's tapping out for Recall Forgotten Aeons. Still not board presence. And then Herzi's going to be swinging in for 7 next turn. And this means Monger doesn't have any removal or ways to stop this. So yep, swinging in for 7. Depending on what Herzi has, Monger could just be dead next turn. So 4 mana. 2 creatures here will really just do it. Monger will need Singularity's Grasp. And even then, that probably won't be enough. Okay, Fireheart Channeler. And that's it. Yeah, so the gen trigger, it's not optional, right? Wait, so Monger just has no plays? For 5 mana Singularity's Grasp? Okay. So he'll take 1. Oh, that's actually really good because Demolition's Divisor doesn't actually deal damage. And Fireheart will start pinging him, so Monger will take 1 damage here, which will still turn on Lady Jen. But nothing else. Yeah, Singularity's Grasp was actually a really good answer to Demolition's Divisor. So how does Monger find himself back in this game? I think Monger would need Bahum's Penance in addition to some way to deal with Lady Jen. Oh, and this destroys Coldgrave too, which means Monger can start doing stuff with his graveyard. That's very big. Monger's still in a very precarious position here because Lady Jen just kind of dodges everything Monger has, as far as I know. Really just Rain's Eye and Soul of his, I'm sorry, not Soul of his God, yeah, Imperial Titan can deal with it. Oh god, another Demolition's Divisor. So that means, Monger needs to have another Singularity's Grasp. Needs 1 more land and another Singularity's Grasp for this to really pan out in his favor. He does have 6 cards in hand. Just play a land and pass, boys. Just play a land and pass. He's thinking about something because he moved to main and he hasn't done anything. Okay, he's tapping 4. What does he have on 4? Oh, Archive Guardian. I guess it's Archive Guardian bringing back Singularity's Grasp. And then Archive Guardian can chump block Divisor? No, I don't. Probably chump block. No, probably chump block Lady Jen. Take the 2. And then next turn have enough mana for Singularity's Grasp. The problem is that if Herzi now knows that Monger has it. And Herzi has 5 cards in hand. So if they have like Mapumo or something, they could just play Mapumo. And then Mapumo kind of just requires another angle of attack. Yeah, there it is. It's Mapumo. Oh, Excel Guardian. And then swing in for 6. So what this does is Monger has oh, Zetla. Oh no. So Monger loses next turn, even with that Singularity's Grasp. I don't think there's any way for Monger to not lose here other than... Yeah, I don't think there's any way for Monger to not lose here. Yeah. That was just too fast. Yeah, I don't think despite having 6 cards in hand, I don't think Monger has any outs here. Bahoom's Penance. Discarding his entire hand. That includes Singularity's Grasp. I guess he's just trying to get. Can he even gain enough life? I guess he'll gain like 8 life, but then he takes. So next turn he takes minimum 2, 4 plus 4, 6 plus 4. He takes 9 damage next turn. Okay, so he's up to 12 life. So he dies if Herzi has Rogs, basically. But otherwise he survives for another turn. Oh, Leyline? Oh god, okay. Leyline Alignment Field suddenly gives him like a huge number of options. Because he now has 5 mana. He has only 3 cards in hand, but he discarded a bunch, and I'm not sure which of those work from the grave. I did remember seeing a soul. Yeah, he discarded a Soul of Iskatia. So he has Archive Guardian in his grave. So Archive Guardian could conceivably bring back Singularity's Grasp, or he could go Soul of Iskatia and to kill Planeswalker. Rain. Okay. He did cite in Sevid. Interesting. I guess Sevid is because it's a cheap Planeswalker that can create creatures that can chump block. Oh, and Lady Jin activating on each end step is insane. I thought it was just this one. Okay. Yeah, Monger is still in a hella precarious position here. Tapping 2/4. Spyglass on Rain. So Herzi did cite in Spyglass for the Planeswalkers. I guess probably for Bahoom, but the life gain is definitely scary on Rain as well. So I guess Monger doesn't realize that he has to reveal his hand. He's just like, yeah, she's going to name Rain. Or they're going to name Rain, sorry. Yeah, oh, Singularity's Grasp in hand. Oh, that's actually really good. So if Monger next turn has 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So let's swing in for Monger will go down. So if Herzi does not have Frog's Frenzy, because that would have killed Monger there. So now, what are Monger's outs here? We know he has Singularity's Grasp in hand to kill the creatures. He won't take any damage, so he'll be fine. He then also needs to kill both of the walkers, because if he gets pinged for 2 and doesn't have life gain, he will die. Yeah, I'm not sure. It is a precarious position, to be sure. Which is weird. I think Monger wants more mana here, which is insane because he has so much. It's just that his deck is so greedy, and you want to be able to play everything. Yeah, I think another Leyline Alignment Field here would be super huge for Monger, because then that would give him 10 mana, which would give him enough to cast Singularity's Grasp for X equals 4. And also, actually, that would give him exactly 11, which would be enough for Crystal. Why are you getting back Crystal Wave? What? I'm really confused by that. Yeah, it only destroys target creature. What are you doing? You're going to cast it for the discard mode, discard your hand mode, but then you won't enough mana to do anything. I'm really confused by that decision. Because Monger needs to kill these walkers now. So Monger plays Singularity's... Oh, because Singularity's Grasp stops Sorceress Spyglass. Okay, gotcha. So that kills Divisor, Gen, and Spyglass. And then Monger can then O-Ring Mapumo, which will put him up to 5 life, and also make it so that Herzi no longer has a board. And then Zetla will ping him for 1, but I don't think he cares about that. Okay, so Monger's going to grab Mapumo, go up to 5 life, still in a very precarious position because Herzi has 4 cards in hand. Okay, Herzi's going to scry with Moon. Okay, they're going to bottom it, so they didn't want to draw that. Oh, I think was... Oh, this is upkeep, okay. I thought they drew already, but yeah. Upkeep, crack the fetch, so they have a better chance of drawing something actually meaningful. Herzi's is a tempo deck, but they have 7 lands right now. They have exactly as many lands as the Greed Pile deck, which is kind of insane. Oh, and scry again on... Oh! I thought they were going to scry again on upkeep. Because that's what they're tapping the lands for. They seem to be doing some hard thonks. Probably thinking about like what their outs are. I don't know what they have in hand. Also, what burn do they have? Let's see. If it's only Rogs, they have any haste creatures? They have Tai. So I guess what they want here is Taichamp and Rogs. Those are the cards. Unless Herzi sided out Taichamp. Okay, so Herzi is scrying. What are they tapping a swamp for? Oh, another Lady Jen. That's huge. And Herzi still has 4 cards in hand. And Unmasker. Monger doesn't have anything to grab from hand. And Herzi just refills their hand. And this is the thing, the more and more Herzi digs, the closer and closer they get to a Rogs or a Taichamp. So now Monger is dead on board. He really needs another way to get back that. Does he have Archive Guardian in his graveyard? I think he was hoping to mill one so he could get back Singularity's Grasp. So there's a multitude of ways Monger can die next turn. Okay, so he's going to recall Forgotten Aeons, Coalesced. So there are slightly fewer ways that Monger can lose here, but still a decent amount of ways that Monger can lose. Yeah, just going +1 cards, despite the random discard, going up +1 card every turn, which technically actually every turn cycle you go up 2 cards is insane. Lady Jen is a really strong card, folks. So tapping 3 for for scry on upkeep, sorry. Because again, I guess they really want to hit Taichamp or Rogs. So if they keep it on top, oh, they're keeping it on top. Is this Rogs? Is this just Rogs for game? Or Taichamp, actually. Okay, actually, Rogs. Yeah, Rogs is really the only thing that wins for game here. Like, guaranteed. Okay, so they're going to Sand Scatter with that, which means 2 damage is guaranteed getting through. So now they have Zetla mana, so they could attack phase and play Zetla main 2. Or just play Zetla now. Sorcerer Spyglass on Rain. Oh yeah, Titan is so strong, but you never want to have it in hand. So now the question is, what is Herzi going to do here? Are they going to attack in just with Unmask? Okay, they're going to attack with everything. Oh, Monger loses here. Yeah, because I forgot he doesn't need a pinger because of the Fireheart Channeler land. So yeah, just 2 damage is enough because on Monger's upkeep, he loses 1 and loses. So we're going to game 3. So turns out Lady Jen turn 3 is incredibly strong. And Hurley just kind of rode on the back of that to get enough cards to just answer all of Monger's. Monger's did not have anything, like, he kept missing like things that he needed in grave or things that he needed in hand. The Singularity's Grasp kept him in the game a little bit longer. It's like the double Singularity's Grasp, but it wasn't enough. So I was right about Cold Grave. No Anguish, we didn't see any Anguish on Makings. Herzi actually did bring in the Sorcerer Spyglass. I guess they were scared enough of the Planeswalkers and the life gain they present. Monger, I think we can safely say, brought in the Singularity's Grasp. Maybe brought in a Crystal Wave, though I think that would be a mistake. Can't say much about anything else. So game 3, it really just comes down to, so Monger's actually going to be on the play. So Herzi will have less of a chance to do some crazy aggressive strats, and Herzi will be mulling. If Monger can just chain 2 or 3 cantrips, and Monger kept, so Monger presumably has like turn 1 a cantrip, and then just can keep doing that, they'll be in a good place. Because cantrip plus Angeltouched is a good time. Okay, Oracle's Vision. Crystal Wave, Rain's Eye, Crystal Wave is kind of not what you want to mill because that does nothing from the graves, but that's just how it is. Now Herzi wants to go turn 1 hand attack here. I believe they have, I know they have Duress, I don't know if they have Stolen Secrets, but I assume they do. Or Unmasker, actually Unmasker is the best of those, because it also presents a clock. This is a hard choice. You probably take, do they have mana for Crystal Wave? Yeah, the Crystal Wave mana is present. Singularity's Grasp is also scary. I think anything but Titan, because they have no way of discarding. I guess they have Crystal Wave to discard Titan. Yeah, okay, Singularity's Grasp. So next turn, Monger is just going to play Oracle's Vision. Yep, there we go. Blood Frenzy is good to mill. Singularity's Grasp is decidedly not, because you want as many copy of those as you can get. Probably another cantrip here. Oracle's Vision number 3. What a world. Again, doesn't mill stuff that you probably want to mill. They miss most of their good mill targets, which is kind of insane. The only one is Blood Frenzy. Okay, so Herzi just goes, going to swing in with Unmasker. Next turn, Monger has Crystal Wave for Unmasker. So should be fine. Okay, Zetla, and it's going to force Monger to make a choice here. But yeah, oh yeah, Imperial Titan. That's the obvious thing because you can only play it. Oh, Cold Grave. That's a line. And now without Singularity Scraps, that means Monger's entire graveyard, the one that he worked so hard to mill himself with, not actually worth much, really. So maybe it's a good thing that the only good thing that he milled was Blood Frenzy. But yeah, I think what he does here is he wants to use Blood Frenzy's to create a token. Yeah, he's paying 3 life preemptively, so he's creating the tokens. Because blocks on Masker, then can kill Zetla next turn, just chump blocks effectively. And I don't think there's anything else in Monger's graveyard that was worth cold graving yet. Herzi has all of their colors, all on basics too. So Monger probably doesn't want to discard. Okay, Soul of Viscot, yeah. Which I guess does stuff from his graveyard, but I almost, depending on what Herzi has in hand, I think you might want to just keep that in hand because Cold Grave just kind of screws it over. Oh, another Zetla? That seems strange. That why wouldn't you just wait until your next turn to cast Zetla? Is the assumption that Monger would just attack Zetla? I don't know. Okay, so Monger's down to 2 cards in hand. Depending on what he has here, probably gonna kill Zetla. Yeah. And off of only 3 mana, I don't know if there's much Monger can do. Okay, so one of those is a land. A lot more than Monger can do now. Going to end. That tells me Monger either doesn't have much, has Crystal Wave in hand, despite milling, I think, 2 copies. Going Surrealist. That would really put a damper on Monger's day because he can't chump it, and letting it resolve is basically just no. Okay, he's. I don't know if I agree with this because Monger obviously has a Crystal Wave, and he's just so close to dying that why wouldn't you just counter it? You're up on board, dude. I guess he was waiting to escalate it, so now he's going to destroy and then discard your hand and draw 2 cards. Yeah, okay, I guess I can see that, depending on what the last 1 card was. And the first damage on Herzi, meanwhile Monger is sitting at half his starting life total. The more Herzi draws lands, the better it is for Monger. Oh, okay, so they have a 4 mana play? Or they have two mana plays. Sorcerer Spyglass on, preemptively on Bahum. Okay, so that's not great because at that point they're clearly telegraphing that their last card in hand is Sand Scatter. Yeah, or I guess it could be Rogs, I guess. But Sand Scatter is formed. Like, do they have any red? They probably do. Red, black. Yeah, okay, so they can get Crumbling Precipice or Forgotten Step. So it could be Rog's Frenzy. It could be Rog's Frenzy. So Monger Oracle's Visioned, and then hardcast Archive Guardian to get back Crystal Wave, which is a really strong tempo play. So yeah, Herzi with 1 card in hand here is looking really disfavored so far. And Spyglass is one of those things that you want to draw once you're already kind of ahead on board, not when you're facing down other creatures that you need to have comparable creatures for. So is this going to be Rogs to face? Or Rogs to kill something? Archive Guardian, but I don't know if killing Archive Guardian here would be the right choice. Sandscatter would be very good. They didn't actually cast anything, which makes me feel that it is Sandscatter, and they're holding it for a bigger threat. That feels like a mistake, because then Monger will have Crystal Wave up, so... Okay, here comes Mapumo. Probably exiling Archive Guard. No, okay. Actually, that would be a mistake, because then it would just be killed by Blood Frenzy. So it's going to kill an Elemental. It's going to get attacked for 3 next turn, but then he can kill another Elemental. Unless Monger also sighted in Spyglasses and happened to draw one. And unlike Monger, I don't think Herzi has removal for... Like, unless Herzi sighted in Anguish and Making. So I think just swinging out for 3 at Mapumo. Oh. Okay, yeah, I guess it's fair, because, like... No, actually, I don't think that was right. Because then Mapumo is going to tick up, and then Archive Guardian alone would be able to kill it. I think that was a mistake. Unless Monger has a creature to play here. But then Herzi has either Rogs or Sandscatter in hand. Probably Sandscatter. What is Monger doing? What does he have? He only has Singularity's Grasp and Instant Speed. Or I guess he has Blood Frenzy. But Herzi has no creatures. He also has Crystal Wave. So we know Crystal Wave is in play. So Monger can just counter whatever. But I think not swinging out fully on Mapumo was a mistake. Because now Archive Guardian alone can't kill Mapumo. I think that was a huge punt unless Monger has something better to be doing here. Yeah, and then Mapumo can't exile Archive, but then Mapumo just attacks. He'll just ping Monger in the face. And still nothing? Bruh, Monger. Heck, at this point, okay, you know what? If I had this much mana, I don't think he has Blood Frenzy, because I think if you have this much mana and Blood Frenzy, at this point you would just Blood Frenzy your own Archive Guardian, get back something else with Archive Guardian, and then create the tokens or something. Just you need to capitalize on how much Herzi is misstepping here, or like how much Herzi is just not having plays. I mean, I guess holding up Blood Frenzy could be better, like just to not be greedy. But also, why would you do that when you also have Crystal Wave? Like, yeah, I don't get this reasoning or like line of thought. Okay, tapping 2 for Sandscatter. Crystal Wave for 5. Yep, refill hand and counter. So now Mapumo is gonna hit face probably. Oh, Unmasker. Unmasker is strong here because this means that Mapumo still lives. And yeah, Unmasker grabbing Bahoom's Penance here probably. Or actually, no, Imperial Titan because Bahoom's will discard it otherwise. Actually, this is a hard choice. Because if you grab Bahoom's, he'll just pay for it and then cast it. Actually, either way, Monger will probably pay for Unmasker and then just cast Bahoom's, no matter which one you take. Yeah, it makes sense, but then I think Monger is just, depending on what he draws, he's just gonna pay the 2, and he has enough mana to comfortably just Bahoom's again. And sure, he'll be down to 8 life, but why will he have to care about that again? Oh yeah, and he has the mana to catch to just take it back and stuff, because he's gonna Bahoom's and gain like 8 life, just straight up. Actually, no. Monger has 15 cards in exile because of Coldgrave. Oh my god, he's gonna gain like 20 life! He is going to gain 20 life here. For 3 mana, he is going to gain... Oh my god. This is insane! And then does he still have mana for... No, he could draw into another land and still have mana for Imperial Titan. Imperial Titan, the Unmasker, attack with Archive to kill Mapumo, and then be in like an amazing position. Because Herzi is top decking. Oh. So yeah, Monger is just going to casually gain just gain 23 life, like one does. Oh yeah, and also draw 4 cards because why not? Okay, Unquenched Greed coming out. So this tells me that Monger did not draw a land. No, he did. He drew 2 lands. I'm actually. Why would you play Unquenched Greed there? Just play another land, cast Imperial Titan, and kill Unmasker, and then attack Mapumo, and then you have a board. I think Monger got too tantalized by the possibility of got too tantalized by the possibility of Bahoom's Penance, or just forgot that line as while casting Bahoom's Penance. I don't know, dude. So what did Herzi top deck? And yeah, see, this is the punt. Herzi top deck Coldgrave and now can exile. And now can exile the Titan. Yeah, that's why Monger made a big mistake there. I don't think it's going to lose him the game because Monger overwhelmingly has the advantage here. But it's like, and also I think Monger should have grabbed back a Singularity's Grasp there because he had the mana on end. Maybe he's keeping it in exile because he doesn't want to discard it, but if he has another Bahoom's Penance or something, which that would be understandable. So this is going to be another Bahoom's Penance. No, okay, it's Rain. But Rain, he can't do anything with Rain because Sorcerer Spyglass. Yeah, I think this is a series of really, really bad punts from Monger. And again, I don't think he'll lose him the game because he can just keep +1ing Sevid and build up an insane board that Herzi has no way of dealing with. But okay, so he has a Singularity's Grasp in hand. Kill Sorcerer Spyglass. Then he can Rain's Eye and O-Ring Mapumo. And he hasn't +1s. Yeah, I was about to say he almost forgot. Yeah, that was like 3 punts there in quick succession. But again, having Sevid and Rain out is kind of insane because Herzi has no real way. Okay, how does Herzi deal with this? Like, okay, so Herzi does not have wipes. Herzi does not have good Planeswalker removal, unless I'm forgetting. Yeah, there's no wipes in here. There's no good Planeswalker removal other than Anguish Unmaking. They could Frogs, but then they need to have Frogs fast. I think that this is just game. I think Monger has kind of handily won himself this set. And it's going to be a slow win here, but 33 life, yeah, Herzi's just conceding. They have nothing to get themselves out of this position. And Monger takes the set 2-1.